it's Bonnie Southgate, hEDSRehab here with another video on the Pilates Reformer for you. So I'm going to take you through a small exercise for the arms. I found this is a great exercise because you get the feedback from the shoulder rests and you also have the resistance, and some of my clients that have had really what we would call type 3 instability, very unstable shoulders, have still been able to do this exercise. Now everybody is different in terms of what creates their shoulder instability, so if it doesn't feel right, make sure you don't press on and do it. I'm going to talk you through it and give you a few options if you don't feel quite right on it, or the shoulders don't feel quite right on it, because some of us can have subluxations or dislocations in a posterior or backward direction, and some of us can have them forwards. So depending on where your instability is, the arm positioning may need to change to make it feel more stable for you when you do your exercises. So we are going to start with lying on our backs. I generally use 1.25 to 1.5 springs for this exercise, but obviously if somebody is super weak, then you can take it right down to lower springs. So I'm going to just set the springs up for myself here on 1.5. I probably wouldn't start somebody on that. And I am going to get my arm straps. So, lying down on my back to begin with. So, making sure that heads are cushioned where they need to be, depending on posture. And we're going to bring the legs on the bar. So you can do this following your footwork. If you're already lying down, it's quite nice. So I'm going to start keeping my feet. So I'm going to talk through it. I'm going to start with my feet on the bar. The original exercise obviously would have the legs in the air, but just to test the waters with the arms, I tend to have the legs on the bar, just so people know what they're going to expect and what they're doing. So we're going to just start by bringing the arms down, and I'm going to keep the elbows just a teeny bit off the ground, and I'm just going to start by pressing the hands down into the straps, just so you get the feel, or they get the feel, and then gently bending the elbow. So it's taking them through that range with the elbows where they come to the end, or you come to the end if you're yourself using this at home, and you don't keep pushing into hyperextension. So you stop there and then you fold at the elbows and coming back. Things that I really like to watch on this, so I can almost guarantee that everybody who starts this who is got hypermobility issues will have their wrists pulled back like that. So they won't have the strength in the wrists. So one of the really important things is taking that strap all the way down and making sure, so this is as much a wrist hand exercise as it is shoulder and elbow, is that those wrists don't start to break. They don't hold it with their fingers, and that in itself can be a really great exercise for someone with hypermobility, and bending and keeping those wrists really straight. So we can take that up, so just taking the arms straight up. Now as I do this, I'm keeping a little tiny bit of tension in my straps. I'm not letting it go floppy. So I've got a teeny bit of tension in my straps, and as I bring the arms up, I let the tops of the shoulders relax, and I think about letting those shoulders come towards the ground. So as you push up, I don't want to see that the shoulders come up with it. You can see the difference in my shoulders there, and when they're dropped back into the socket. So we want, as the elbows come up, just to feel a relaxation on the shoulders coming up. And now in that position there, we can gently bring the arms down, and it's almost as though there's a wheel turning, a pivot point in the shoulder, so it doesn't pop forward. As I bring this down, I shouldn't get a response of the shoulder popping forward. It wants to turn on itself. As I come down again, I'm really controlling wrists and elbows. And as I come back, That arm is pivoting back on itself, coming up, just to there. And again, pushing down, and it's like that wheel is turning, and then coming back up, letting the shoulders roll back. Now, for somebody who maybe has had a posterior dislocation, that might feel a little unstable. So the posterior side is needs the external rotators to be strong to protect it. So rather than having the palms facing down, you might want to have what we call a chopper grip, where actually we have a bit more external rotation of the arms as we come down, and we might not want to go all the way down and then coming up. Likewise, if you have an anterior dislocation, it may be that you want to strengthen the anterior side, and actually internal rotation is not a bad way to go at all, because that goes with extension. So taking the arm back in gait, we internally slightly rotate the arm that goes behind us. So it's actually anatomically really a nice thing to internally rotate the arms as they come down, and then to externally rotate the arms as they come back up. And that really mimics more what we do with our arms in gait. And internally rotate, because I've got my lats and the internal rotation, which goes with extension, and then the external rotation as we bring the arms forward goes with flexion and bringing the arm forward in gait. So it would be mimicking what we would want to do with our arms. So that might feel more secure for somebody, and actually that in itself is quite a big exercise for your rotator cuff muscles. Now I'm going to bring my elbows back down, and if I'm going to make this a little bit harder, I'm going to start to float one leg in the air. And you can allow that foot to hang down, so we can take really the abdominal or the stability for the abdominals out of this, or strength work, if we let those legs just hang down. And we can focus on the arms there, and I'm having to work much harder with my arms. So I would make sure that the wrists and the elbows can be controlled with the feet on the bar before I would take the feet off, and then I can take it up nice and slow, and then bring the arms back down. And the same thing, it's all about that control at the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist joint. And then as people get stronger, then you can start to bring those legs in the air, more into your tabletop position, taking the arms up and pushing down. So that is what we call your mid-back series, which is a great exercise for the arms and the shoulders. Just gonna sit up. So if you haven't done that in your classes, have a go. If you've got your own reformer at home, you can have a go with that. As I said, only do everything that feels entirely comfortable on your own shoulders. I hope you found some of those tips useful. It's Bonnie, Southgate, hEDSRehab here. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.